So I have two updates from two recent man overboard situations that many would argue have now gone extremely public, well, viral, and I want to talk about it because unfortunately both of these men, the Coast Guard have called off the searches officially for both of these cases, and both victims here are now presumed to be deceased. And I want to talk about this because obviously when you have stuff that go viral, there are a lot of people that are not operating within the industry in any way, shape, or form. Many have not even taken a cruise, and now people are running wild with all kinds of rumors and accusations. I want to clear some of this up as well as just give you guys a general update. Now, I am going to make these updates relatively quick because as many of you know, it is cruise day for me. I will be sailing on board the new Carnival Luminosa cruise ship. It's the Costa Hybrid. It's actually literally right behind me here in downtown Seattle. Of course, I will be putting out vlogs. You guys can follow that on my other channel, Jay the Nomad, as well as a review of my recent cruise on board Virgin Voyage's newest ship, the Resilient Lady. In the most recent developments, we do have an update in the horrific case involving Ronnie Lee Peel JR. This was the gentleman that was on a 5-day sailing on the Carnival Magic, sailing out of Virginia with his wife for her birthday, when he allegedly was leaning on his balcony at approximately 4:10 a.m. as the ship was heading back to the 5-day sailing from the dates of May 25th through May 30th, when he leaned over and simply fell over, allegedly. Now, none of this has been confirmed. There are rumors circulating, of course. I don't want to dive too much into it, but there are people that saying that they were allegedly on board with him and saw him near the casino. He was appeared to be intoxicated, which could be a likely scenario in the event that somebody just simply falls over, because I did state in my previous video talking about this situation, stating that nobody just simply falls over. It's very, very rare. Unless this unfortunate passenger is over 7 foot tall, which I seriously doubt. There's no way he simply just fell over. I used to work for the Harlem Globetrotters. I have friends that are over 7 foot tall. Some are even as tall as 7'8". I guess there could be a case made there, but otherwise you do have to wonder, how could this even happen? Because there are really three likely scenarios in which somebody goes overboard. They don't just simply fall. Either it is a situation where it is an intentional, and this is usually the most likely scenario where somebody has intentionally jumped. I'm not saying that's the case with this particular situation, but a lot of times we do have people that think that this is the best way to take their own life. It's very rare, but there is the possible cause of like a foul play where somebody has pushed them, or a situation where they are just doing stupid stuff like playing on the railings or trying to take a selfie. We've seen this in history's past. So to say he fell over, well, I personally don't believe it, but I'm also not going to dive into it because it's none of my business. It is unfortunate, and we are now learning in developments that the Coast Guard has officially called off the search for this man, so it does mean that he is, well, at this point, assumed to be now deceased. Of course, my sincere condolences do go out to the friends, family, and loved ones of Ronnie. But one thing that a lot of people have seemed to have been talking about, and part of me understands, but part of me is kind of like, it's not really that big of a deal. I understand why, is the fact that his wife and family, prior to even him being pronounced deceased or the Coast Guard calling off the search, was that there was a GoFundMe that was made for, I believe it was like $20,000, and people were donating. A lot of people were saying, why are they doing this before he has even been confirmed to have not been found or deceased? I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, especially for people that maybe don't have the funds available for a horrific event like this, a tragic event, an emergency, or anything of that nature. A lot of people that know the facts. Maybe the wife ended up talking to the Coast Guard, and they told her the likelihood that he may be found, and from there, she just wanted to maybe get a head start because they knew that should they arrange a funeral or something of that nature, they may simply not have the funds. Either way, I don't think it's anybody's business unless we come to find out and it's confirmed that this was some type of money grab, and I think that's even disrespectful, in my personal opinion, to even think about in such a difficult time. But hey, if something does come up, then of course, then we will know, and well, hopefully it will be handled in the right way. Believe it or not, we also have a similar situation in the case of Cameron Robbins. Now, this has been going absolutely viral. Everybody is talking about this, even extra large, major, famous YouTubers and lots of media outlets, because you have this man, Cameron Robbins, that has unfortunately been assumed to be deceased because he jumped off of a sunset cruise ship over a dare, at which point in time there has been photos circulating and assumptions circulating that once he jumped in the water, there was presumed to be a shark in there. Now, I would say that's not exactly a far-fetched statement to make. the camera, it looks like it was a camera phone from like 2002. So it's very pixelated. You can't really get in full detail what is there. It looks like it may be a shark. And I'm saying that's not far-fetched to say, because even just simply a couple months ago, we had a situation with a passenger that was sailing with Royal Caribbean. They were on an excursion, and they unfortunately lost their life due to a shark over in the Bahamas. All this took place over in the Bahamas. So hey, but as far as the GoFundMe situation, people are saying that he is a rich kid. He was a baseball star. His parents probably have money. Why are they setting up a GoFundMe? The reality is, we don't know everybody's financial situation. For people just to assume that, I think it's distasteful and disrespectful. And just like I said with the situation with Ronnie, if it is discovered that this is indeed a money grab, which again, I'm not diving into that because I think it is disrespectful given these circumstances and the horrific situation as far as them having to make arrangements, it's not proper to say, it's not respectful to say, so I'm not going to say it here on this channel. But again, if something were to come up where it looked like a money grab or something disrespectful to the deceased, even if it's their own family, then of course I would hope that the proper authorities take care of it and manage it the proper way. I also want to point one more thing out in lieu of, like I said, these horrific stories going extremely viral. TMZ, media outlets, and just content creators all over the world are talking about these situations. And well, I do want to clear something out. I see a lot of people that are saying, oh, I'm never going to cruise again, or, well, this is why cruise ships shouldn't exist, and all this other BS. I think it's absolutely crazy to me. I've given you guys the stats. It's not uncommon for this to happen, but it's also not common either. There is approximately 25 to 26 people that go overboard globally every single year. And when it comes to that, you have a pretty slim to none chance that if you do go overboard, you probably will not be found, especially if this incident does happen during the evening time. With all that said, however, I do believe that cruise ships are extremely safe. I am in full support of the cruise ships and the cruise lines and the industry as a whole. When it comes to people going overboard, can you really fault the cruise line? Personally, I don't think so. You can only make things so safe and enjoyable at the same time. People don't want to feel like they're in prison. I mentioned it in my last video. Imagine if they had the balcony in every hotel, every cruise ship, any place where you're supposed to get like a good view, panoramic view of like the sights, and you have to view it through plexiglass, or everything is up, like as far as the railings, like 10 foot high. It's not going to be exactly a enjoyable experience as a whole. Can we make decisions under the guise of safe? But again, there is a limit. Otherwise, we'd all be walking around in bubble suits for the rest of our lives. I think you guys get my point here. I understand that there is the potential for things that can be done on maybe the cruise line side, or we got to look at the mental capacity of people. I would say if you are sailing with people that you know are not okay and going through things, maybe don't bring them on a cruise ship, because it does seem like a lot of the times it's never really, at least from my understanding, a lot of the cruisers that do go overboard, it's not seasoned cruisers that do this regularly. Usually it's first timers or people that are new to cruising, and for whatever reason they're going through their mental issues and they assume this is the best way to go, which obviously we are learning now, whether it be sharks in the water or the fact that you're going to drown, which I don't think that's a pleasant way to go. It's not a beautiful thing. Or the fact that you jump off a cruise ship from like the 20th deck and now you have broken all your bones and you're watching the cruise ship just sail away. And believe it or not, that cruise ship isn't going as slow as a turtle. By the time you see that ship, once you get in the water, that ship is gone out of the distance. And well, them trying to turn around and get to you, it's like stopping a train and deploying anything like the Coast Guard or a life raft to come back and pick you up. It's like finding a needle in the haystack. So guys, like I said, just watch out for your friends. Understand that everybody's going through something. And yeah, well, do what we can to keep everybody safe. Of course, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys, and I love all of you. And well, I'll see you later. Take it easy.